Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Talking Time in the Six. Today we have a special guest on all the way from the UK. It's our first collab outside of North America, long overdue. And we got Simon Says 100 off the yard UK. Tell me where you're from, Simon, who you are, and how you were brought up, like how you were raised.
Oh, hi everyone. My name's Simon Gittins. I'm Simon Says off the Yard UK. Um, I'm 43. Yeah, I'm from Bath, England. Um, Growing up, yeah, I was pretty poor. My mum was born in South Carolina, moved over to England. Um, she was a she wasn't born disabled, but she caught polio. So my mum was in a wheelchair, and my dad was like a gothic. When I grew up, it was like I used to hang about with punks, skinheads, the rockers, that sort of era.
Okay.
Things were pretty messed up back then.
Okay, so what led you into trouble?
I think basically my old man, when my mum left him, he just didn't really care. Um, he was never really there, so I ended up turning to the streets, and my role models were, were bad influences. So
Right, right, which makes sense.
yeah, I pretty much got into drugs early. It was around me all the time. Uh, I was dotting from here to there. I was kicked out at the early age of like 13, pretty much. My old man didn't care. I remember one time I ran away, come back, and I go, I'm back. He goes, what do you mean back? Where did you go? And I was like, that mean
Ah,
I've been gone for over a
yeah.
couple of weeks.
So no supervision. I hear you. I can relate to that. So what do you think that you've seen online or heard the differences in the two countries of what you've seen or heard? Anything? Any main
What do you
differences
mean,
that you've
like in
seen?
what do you mean, like in prisons?
Yeah,
Big difference, big
big difference.
difference. Yeah, over here it's a HMP. There's no feds, no nothing like that. Like when you get arrested, you can get remanded, and that means you're waiting to be sentenced. But there's no jail and then prison. It's straight to prison.
Oh,
Yeah, so like you have over here, you have ACAT, which is like for murderers, high crime sort of thing. BCAT, CCAT, and DCAT, which is open prison.
okay.
So I've never made it to a DCAT,
So it's running on
because
like an A B C D system instead of like a one, two, three, four, like the US does, like a level four is the highest. Okay. See, here in Canada, it's just you go to the penitentiary if it's 2 years and plus. If it's 2 years and minus, you do in the jail.
okay,
Okay. So
that
that's how
sort
it
of
is here.
stuff.
It's different than the US as well.
Yeah, that's in the jail. You don't get out very much, do you?
No,
It's like,
no.
yeah.
And it's brutal. It's no freedom. You got no radio, no TV, nothing, right? So it's the only entertainment is the guys fighting, so they want to be violent because they got nothing else to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Only source
Well,
of
it's pretty much,
entertainment.
yeah, pretty much like that. Especially young offenders they get bored so easy,
Right.
and yeah, you got to try and make a name for yourself.
Yep.
You know.
For sure. So, what are the politics like over there? What do you guys have? Certain kind of gangs over there? Do you guys have the same gangs as we do, or like Crips and Bloods
It's
are the
not
big
like,
ones, right?
yeah, it's not like America. You're not really segregated in groups. Anybody can hang with anybody. You know. Uh, over the years, prisons changed. You used to have like a lifer be like the main guy, and you respect your elders, and you keep your head down, be respectful and that. But nowadays, it's a free for all. K2's pretty Spice is ruined jail. Yeah,
Yeah, I've
it's,
seen some footage of it, and some guys inside doing it. It's pretty wild. I haven't been involved with that stuff. That's crazy because we always had weed, so we didn't have to resort to that. You know, these guys
yeah.
smoke it like as if it's weed, but then they're acting as if they're on acid.
It's
You know.
crazy stuff. So many stories. Like, I've been out 5 years now, and I definitely don't want to go back because, yeah, prison's not the same anymore.
No, no, it's not. It's a free for all. It's
Yeah.
crazy. You know, is there gangs overpowering the pod there, or how does it work there?
Up north you have gangs, but do you know what? It's not like America. You know what I mean? You have your little cliques, people like hang about with each other, but there's no like over there you have cliques, cars and that. Over here there's none of that. You just hang about with who you want, You have
Okay,
your little groups and that, and that's about it.
all right. What are the guards over there like?
We call them screws over here.
Okay,
Yeah.
true.
Guards are guards, you know what I mean? Like, they're the same anywhere, you know what I mean? You get your good ones, you get your bad ones. Pretty much stay away from them unless you need something.
Okay, so are they violent towards inmates over there in it, like that you've
Some
seen
of
in your
them,
area?
yeah.
Okay.
Some of
That's what
them,
I was trying to get at, like, because
yeah.
you know, we don't know in other countries how it is, right? So I'm just trying to figure out because here it's violent, they're violent. In the U.S., they're violent. It seems like the guards like to just do whatever they want,
Yeah,
you know?
well, I think it's the same anywhere you go, they're like abuse their power, I've
Yeah,
had I've had been twisted up, maced, and then they took me back down to the cells to the hole, and I've had a proper beating, black
yeah.
and blue, you know what I
Um,
mean? So, yeah,
See, the only thing I can think of that's like with the guards that's any different is when the inmates are running the the establishment, when the
yeah,
inmates are actually controlling it, it's then the jails or prisons run different. Like you can really tell the difference if the officers are running it or if the prisoners are running it. Because I've seen it only in one place out of 8 different places I've been at. This one place was so brutal that they were like scared to come on, so they would do everything through the bars. So basically, you would come on, they wouldn't even tell you your cell or anything. You would have to figure
well,
out what cell you're going to go to, all that.
yeah, I've been to a couple of prisons where like all the inmates run the place, and their guards pretty much have to ask permission to do this or that, or they're like, "Oh, mate, he's coming in," blah blah blah. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
cool. So, how did the visits work over there?
um, if you're on remand, I think you get a couple of visits a week. Otherwise, yeah, once a week. But another thing that's different over there, you do about 80% of your time, don't you?
2/3.
2/3. So we do a half here. Unless
Okay.
you've got 5 years or more, then you're up in front of the parole.
Okay. So, say for example, if you had like, say, um, well, you know what 2/3 is.
Yeah,
So here you got to do your 2/3 before, like when I was actually locked up way back when I was doing my time. It was 2 for 1, and then it got taken away. But at one point, when you were in remand, what you're calling remand, before you get sentenced,
yeah.
that was called like open custody, or not open custody, sorry, remand custody, and you would get 2 for 1, right?
Okay.
Because you're like basically can't do nothing. You're locked down all the time. The only place you go is out in this little pod, you know. So when you're sentenced and you go to the pen, then they would do 2/3 because, or you can get parole depending on who you are and what your charges are, you know. But with the it's not very, you don't get it very often here. The parole, they're really strict on it.
Yeah.
If you're like a repeat, if you're always going the first time, they'll probably give it to you if you're not a violent offender. But if you got lots of violence, you know, you're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah, they're gonna give you a knockback. Same here. Yeah.
Yeah. So do that brings me to ask you another question about STG. Here, this is called Security Threat Group, where it's like a special unit of officers will watch the more guys that are more like affiliated or more of a security threat to the officers. Is there a version of that there, or
No, not really. I suppose up north, like where you have more gangs and that, they tend to put them high risk offenders into like the ACAT, which is a higher prison, and you get less privileges and you're locked up more. But if you're on a CCAT, you're out pretty much all the time. You get a job, you get more time out yourself. But no, it's different over here. Gangs don't really like run the prison, if you know what I mean. It's not like America.
so what do you guys do over there to pass the time when you're doing like heavy time? What was your programming like? Did you do anything, sports, tattooing? Like, what did you do?
Um, Obviously, always a bit of wheeling and dealing, yeah, a bit of tattoo going on. Um, Sports,
Cards? Did you guys
reading,
play cards over there? Did they
yeah, all
gamble
the
over there?
time, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
There are many
'Cause I
fights
gotta say, for
over the
morning
card,
tonight, man, that's like when you're in the jail, right? You got nothing else to do but play cards. You know what I mean?
yeah, or chess,
Right.
same everywhere.
Everyone's trying to hustle up something. You know what I mean? Even if they're
Yeah,
playing for bag juice or an apples or something. You know, when you don't got
yeah.
much, any little thing can help.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
People don't realize how good it is out here when all the different things that they could just go grab and eat whatever they want, or just go walk outside, do whatever they want, and people forget quickly, you know, that when we were in
Uh,
there, we would have just loved even to just go to get an ice cream with your woman. You know what I mean? Just little things
yeah,
like that.
the thing that drives me mad is someone that gets out and then they'll be back in within the week, and you're thinking, oh, like a minute ago you were just saying, oh, when I get out, I'm never coming back. This, that, the other, and
Right? You
they're
should
back.
have brought something. They get mad
Yeah.
here if that happens. If they see the guy get out and he comes right back, they'll be like, "What the hell? You didn't bring us nothing."
Ah, that reminds me of a story. Yeah, my guy Mikey's locked up at the moment for stabbing someone, but anyway, it's Christmas, and he comes in. He's got a great big whopping black eye on the left side. Yeah, he's brought a parcel. Anyway, he's like giving it out. He's not charging anybody anything. He's giving it out. Anyway, he gets out, and about 2 weeks later, he comes back in with another parcel, but a big black eye on the right hand side. Crazy. And now he's doing like 7 years for stabbing someone. So crazy.
Okay.
Some people never learn though.
No, I've seen that too. I've seen it quite a bit. You know, they call that the something revolving door or something like that. You know,
repeat, repeat offender. Yeah,
yeah.
just
They,
someone
I
who
was
just
in the
like
system
yeah,
from a YO, a youth, and they get you on probation, and it's like they keep you when you're on probation. Because I would do all my time, get out after say like 3 years, they would still want me to go back on this probation from before I never finished, right? So they start you all
yeah,
over again. And it's like it took me over 10 years to finally get off this first probation that I got when I was a young kid. Finally I got, because you would get out after doing so much time, you're not even in this city or whatever where it is. So you go back to where you're from. Now you got two days to report to this person, and you're not even living there, and you're just out.
yeah,
How are you gonna do this? You know, so it automatically you get a warrant. It's like fuck, man, I just came out, but because I was getting in trouble in different areas, it was a real, this is when I was a teenager, and it just built up a lot of different probations, and then it was a friggin' pain to get rid of them. I finally got rid of all the paperworks and all that in 2017. So
You
I've
know,
been
they
good ever
set you
since.
up to fail.
Like I
They
finally
always,
got out, and then I
they
paid
always,
all the payments that I had to pay to them. It was the first time I actually reported it. Like every time I was supposed to report, I said I gotta get this over with. You know, change my life around.
I hate it when you've got it hanging over your head.
Yeah, it's the
And they
worst.
do, they set you up to fail.
Yeah.
Like over here, by law, when they kick you out of jail, they're meant to rehouse you, but they don't. And then you end up like, probation's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, they're remanding you in custody again.
Right. And if you ain't got family like that to help you out and you get out of jail, you ain't got no money and you go to assistance or you go somewhere, they're not gonna cut you a check right away. And even if they do, it's only a couple $100 for a homeless check or something. You can't get an
Yeah.
apartment. Like what do they expect these guys to do? What do they expect us to do? Like it's very hard to get an apartment when these guys get out. I know from experience it was hell to get a place.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
I've been out 5 years now.
Yep.
And when I first got out, they put me in a place called Ratfield House. And there's a paedophile there. I'm going to do a video on that. I called him Nick a Sniffer, but I'm not going to ruin that story
Yeah.
because that'll be on my channel. But
Right.
funny story. But anyway, the point is, I got kicked out of there, and then I was homeless for a bit. I was sort of living with my missus here, there, and everywhere. And at the moment, I'm in the YMCA. I got my little room,
Okay.
so hopefully I get a flat from there.
Is it
But that's
is
5
it
years
a
down the
is it
line.
a men's shelter? The YMCA?
It's like a little hotel sort of thing.
Okay. Nice. It doesn't seem too bad. That's all your room right there?
Yeah, I got
Oh,
like
nice.
a little sink in the corner. I
Nice.
got cupboard, double bed. It's all right. Yeah,
Right on,
it
brother. How
reminds
did
me of
you
being in jail. It's like my own little cell. This is 5 years down the line, though. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
I should be. Well, I am getting a flat from it, a place. But 5 years down the line, and they wonder why people like they're on the street with nothing, and then they get back into drugs,
Yeah.
and it's a revolving door.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, the addiction. It's like how can they ever stop if they're in the same place, you know? You gotta get away and be on your own to get your mind straight and get your mind, get away from everybody. That's the
Yeah,
best suggestion I can say to people, you know. Um,
yeah,
that's how I did it, you know. I just went away from everybody. If you have your dealer or your friends close by, a quick speed dial, you ain't gonna. It's too convenient, you know.
yeah.
You gotta block all that
The
out.
temptation, yeah. I cut everybody off, you know what I mean? But
Got to.
I've been I've been clean 5 years since I've been out. I've had a little mishap in the meantime, but I sort of recognised it and dealt with it, and I'm back on track. Um,
Man,
DHI, which is they help people with addiction and that. Hopefully, I should be working with them soon.
nice.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
seen you said that on your video. Nice. Everybody go check out that video on his channel. It gives more detail on that. Yeah, man.
yes. Hopefully, when I get the badge and that, when I've got my course, I'll be going around interviewing people on the streets. Hopefully, I have a bit more power behind me, and I can be the voice for the homeless.
Nice.
You know,
You
yeah.
got good goals, man. You got good goals. You just stick to them, bro. You can do it, brother. You know what I mean? Just keep pushing.
I've,
You got your
I've
channel
worked
here.
hard, yeah, man.
You're
Like,
working hard,
yeah.
bro. You know what I mean? So to wrap it up, because I know you got to go to work. This is early in the morning for you. What would you give to your advice to your younger self? Like if you could, not to go back to jail, like when you were young, what could you tell yourself back then?
Um, I would say to my younger self, yeah, stop worrying about other people because other people don't care about you. They just want to know. They just want what you can give them. look after yourself, number one, and just, go for your goals. If you've got something, fight for it. It ain't gonna happen overnight. Work hard for it, keep yourself to yourself, bugger anybody else, and, just work hard, and eventually everything fall into place. And stay off them drugs.
That's good, bro. That's good. I appreciate it. So you got anyone you want to shout out and shout out your channel and all that? And we'll post everything in the description so people can find you.
Yeah, my channel Simon Says 100 off the Yards UK. Shout out to my wife, my brother Stu. Um, Shout out to all the other people on YouTube. I've got some good people out there. You know who you are. And thank you for having me on the show. Hopefully, maybe we can do a part two, or you come on my channel.
For sure, we'll work again together.
Yeah,
100%, man.
definitely.
I
I've
appreciate you
really
coming on,
enjoyed
bro.
coming on. Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you
you,
for
man.
having me. Yeah,
Everybody else, we'll see you in the next one.
bless.